to our children. If there is any misstep, we apologize.
Ladies and gentlemen, why is President William Ruto apologizing? It's clear he's apologizing to the youths. But why? Is it corruption? No. Why? It's still going on. You cannot apologize on someone you are still beating, hitting. That sorry for beating you, yet you are still beating this person. You cannot. Because corruption is up there, it cannot be the reason as to why William Ruto gave an apology. Is it the bestment of public funds in any way? No. Why? We are still seeing politicians enjoying themselves while Kenyans are crying. And the moment you see a politician very happily enjoying, there's someone he's stealing from. So there's embezzlement. Is the cost living the reasons to why he was giving the apology? No. Why? It's still now there's still the high cost of living in the country. And I want to tell you that it is going to rise, because when I was going to buy sugar across, I realized that sugar has increased, the price has gone up, it keeps on increasing, meaning that things are not getting good as time passes by. So we can see very well that it's not the cost of living was the reason that William Ruto indeed apologized. Is it the issue to do with the housing levy that he collected from Kenyans forcefully? No. Why? The money is still being deducted from Kenyans, houses constructed from the money that was collected from Kenyans, and later on, that house is sold to the same person who contributed. That's very wrong. That's very wrong. The housing levy should not be done, should not be there if after the construction of the houses are still being sold back to Kenyans in a very expensive price. After the government has given land, and also after the Kenyans have contributed to pay for the construction, then you tell them to buy the same house. To who? Very wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, so it's clear that those things above are not the reasons as to why this gentleman was apologizing. That's President William Ruto. But for the purpose of this video, we will assume that President William Ruto was apologizing to the youths based on the following things. Number one, killings. When the youths of this country realized that the country is not heading to the right direction, we went to the streets and some of us got killed. And those killings that occurred, most especially on 25th June 2025, and most especially those ones during the demonstrations, they cannot be forgotten in Kenya's minds, most especially the youths, Gen Zs, millennials, and sometimes Gen Alpha. So the fact is, if it was the issue to do with that, he was supposed to mention it. And an apology without mentioning the people who are in charge, especially the police officers, the people who sent them, the reasons why they shot them, and even the issue to do the police officers getting prosecuted, then the apology was not sincere. Ladies and gentlemen, if it was the issue to do the abductions, we need to know who abducted these youths. Some of them got tortured. Some of them got killed. Some of them were found in city mortuary. Some of them were shot. So the abductions that occurred, in fact, someone like Ibet who was supposed to fly to Israel, this gentleman literally got abducted, and as a result, he missed his flight. He missed his opportunity. How is this person helped? How is he helped? And there's nothing wrong that he did other than just bring some animations, some cartoons to describe Kasongo. So therefore, if William Ruto was sincere, he was supposed to ensure that those of the abductions, those who are abducting people, have been mentioned and also prosecuted. Is it the tortures that occurred? No. Why? Even those who are tortured, they are still there giving testimonies that are very painful, and the government does not listen to them. And now, is it that William Ruto called youths criminals? He did not say, I'm sorry for calling you criminals. No. So the fact is, if that could be the case, the fact remains that William Ruto did not mention the mistake. He would have said, I called you criminals, yet you are not. You are innocent people. So therefore, I've seen from social media responses that the apologies were rejected. Why? The youths of this country believe that the apologies were not sincere at all. Reason being, number one, compensation. When they were forming the broad-based, one of the things they agreed is to compensate the youths But instead, who is benefiting? Raila Amolo Odinga, his land, now he's getting affordable housing. Projects are done across the country where people are benefiting, tenders across. People are getting money. Where we are having empowerment programs, the deputy president moving across with money giving in every constituency. And as we speak today, those youths who died in the streets, who mean a lot to us, are still left there, dead, as actually their parents are mourning. No compensation that has happened. Some of them were injured, and as we speak today, they're maybe in the hospitals, or maybe they're suffering at home, but still compensation, it is not there. Why is it that they could not take a few millions from what they're doing to go and even give this family a livelihood? Also, we have those who actually got abducted. Up to now, they're yet to return home. If you move across social media, you can find mothers crying that my son disappeared during that time of demonstrations. Up to now, is nowhere to be seen. These are characters that we need to look for. As government, look for them. Get them on board. At least compensate them. If there's someone who is still held by the police, release them. There's one abductee who was actually on Citizen TV, who mentioned, the friend to Wanjigi actually, who even mentioned that the Wajir MCA who was abducted was alive. And eventually was found alive. So that gentleman said, yeah, there were so many youths, there could be about 30 or more. And we've not heard that 30 youths have been released. We haven't heard of that. So it's ideal if we get a scenario where at least we are having the youths who are abducted, released massively, in masses, put in buses, returned to their homes, parents celebrate. But now the apology to all these people, no to it. Also, I think there are policies that bring on board to regulate social media. And it was even said in that prayer by Beatrice Elachi, who never learns from mistakes. Now, Beatrice Elachi, she was recently crying that she should be left with her son to mourn peacefully. Now, when the youths have moved along, maybe left her alone, she again brings herself on the same path where youths are passing. So when they start saying anything against her, she again comes out to cry. I think this entry of government power, it should come to an end and people to basically focus on doing development. Now, also, the government policies now, they are intending to curb the issue of usage of the internet, which means a lot to the youth of this country. The fact remains that then the government's apology will be rejected because of the intentions to deal with the youth still. Also, we can say that it was rejected because there's still arrogance in the finance bill 2025. So many things proposed there that can be able to hide the common man. Then therefore, they shall have not actually achieved, the youth shall have not achieved what they were going for streets, the reason as to why they were going for the streets, to ensure that the cost of living has come down. But now if things are going up, then therefore even there's no need of apology, because already their mission was not accomplished. Now, ladies and gentlemen, embezzlement of funds is still going on in the country. And that is a clear reason as to why youth of this country can reject an apology of President William Ruto. I don't know what's your take on the comment section. Share with me. And kindly, if this is the first time you're watching my videos, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time for more videos.